Go ahead. You should open up your books to page 13. We are going to talk about something a little bit different today. We're going to be talking about prepositions. A preposition is a word in a sentence that shows the relationship between a noun, person, place, or thing, or a pronoun, we've talked about those, and other words in the sentence. And on your paper on 13 in the yellow box, there is a green box. Everybody, point to your green box. That is a list of common prepositions, words that you will see used, prepositions that you will see used regularly in sentences. Prepositions always come before a noun or a pronoun. Prepositional phrases can appear just about anywhere in a sentence. It's not like, oh, it's always going to be at the beginning or it's always going to be at the end. And there can be multiple prepositional phrases and prepositions in one sentence. You may see a lot of these words in a sentence. Your list in the green box is a partial list of common prepositions. There is a list of common prepositions also on page 355 in the back of your book. So after we do this page and we've moved on and you still need to know what prepositions are, you can look at page 355 and see that list of common prepositions. Can y'all get everything off your desk except for the English book, please? Nothing else, no pencil cases, no marker things, nothing, no other books. I need you to be paying attention to what I'm doing in here. So one pencil, nothing else, please. And we're paying attention to English. All right. You can see your common prepositions there. So we're not going to go through and read all of those because y'all can read. You know, so you can read what those are. So there's no point in doing that. You can look at them if you need to. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump right into some of the examples that they use there on page 13 in your book. And at the top there is, you can see what I just read to you about where they come between the relationship between the noun and the rest of the sentence, and that they come before a noun or pronoun. They have some examples there. Reapers used sickles for the barley harvest. Does anybody know what a sickle is? Alex? Like tool? Yes. And it cuts things, right? But that's exactly what it is. It cuts things down. You use it like to cut down wheat or tall weeds or things like that. So reapers are people who cut the harvest, okay? They reap the harvest, or they go cut it. They hold the sickles and they cut it. So this says reapers use sickles for the barley harvest. What word in that sentence is a preposition? For. Very good. Yes, for the barley harvest. Okay. What that does, the preposition for relates the harvest there at the end of the sentence back to the sickle. How do they get the harvest? Cutting it with the sickle. It relates those things together. The next sentence there in the example in your book says, some reapers use sickles of bronze. What is the preposition in that sentence, Amante? Across is not in that sentence. I'm reading. I said some reapers use sickles of bronze.
Oh, this one on the bottom?
Of. Yes, of. I'm in the top box. We're not doing. Yeah, I'm in the box. We're not doing the questions yet. We're up in the box, looking at the examples right now. Okay.
Okay.
Looking at examples. So of. And what that does, the preposition of relates the word bronze, which is a color or a metal, to sickles. So the sickle is made of a bronze metal, okay? And the last one there, the example says, others reaped with sickles of bone. Ooh, made out of like animal bones. And the preposition there of relates bone to sickles. So the sickles were made of bones. All right. So that's, you can kind of see what they do in a sentence, what a preposition does in a sentence. We're going to look at the guided practice. So we're there now, Amante. We're getting to where you were, okay? We're going to underline the preposition in each sentence, and then one sentence has two prepositions. So in number 1, Boaz, a landowner, gazed across his barley field. RJ. Across. That is the preposition in that sentence. Across. And that's kind of like a directional word, right? Where is it? It's across the field. Okay, number 2. At harvest time, reapers were hired. Izzy. Where are you? We're on number 2.
Yes. Oh, at.
So say the word or is not in number 2. At, yes. At harvest time, okay? It relates the rest of the sentence to when the reapers were hired. They were hired at harvest time. It connects those two things together. All right, number 3. Their job included putting the cut grain into bundles. Yes, ma'am. Into. Very good. Make sure you're underlining these instead of just daydreaming, Gabe. I realized that you were lost in space somewhere there. Have you got the first? We've done 3. We've done 1, 2, and 3.
He's got to figure out the answers. Don't tell him.
All right, so now we're on 4. Number 4. Reapers did not harvest the corners of the field. Yes, ma'am. Of. Reapers did not harvest the corners of the field. That's relating the field back to where they didn't harvest, okay? It's connecting those two thoughts in the sentence. Number 5, the corners and loose barley were left for the poor. 4, very good. Number 6, Ruth and her mother-in-law were widows with nothing. Amante? With nothing. All right, Gracie, number 7. Naomi sent Ruth to Boaz's field for grain.
There's 2 in this one.
Yes, ma'am.
It's 4 and 2.
Very good. Naomi sent Ruth to Boaz. It's connecting them together. And then what did they go there for? For grain. It's connecting all of that together. Good job. And then the last one, Ruth gathered barley in the field and met Boaz. Tia?
In.
Very good. In. All right. Any question about recognizing those? It's pretty easy when you've got a list right there on the page, right? Makes it pretty easy. When it's test time, I don't know that we'll have a list on the page, so you might want to try to memorize these a little bit. But they can memorize them pretty easily. I know we worked on them in 4th grade last year, and you guys knew them pretty well.
I forgot.
Of course, we did have a poster in the room last year. So, the bottom section. Write prepositions from the word bank. Do you see the orange word bank there to the right of your sentences, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
at, beside, in, into, through, until, and with. All right, so you're going to use those prepositions to fill in the blanks to complete the sentence. And they need to make sense, okay? I mean, you know, some of them wouldn't make sense, like Ruth gathered wheat until Boaz's field. Obviously, that one wouldn't work. But more than one might work in that spot. So what would be one that would work in that spot, Gracie?
Beside.
Beside Boaz's field? Would any other ones work there? Tia? Into Boaz. Gathered wheat into? Maybe just in the field. At Boaz's field? Through gathered wheat through Boaz's field? Yeah, that would work. So pick one of those that makes the most sense to you in that sentence and write it in the blank. Number 10, blank mealtime, Ruth sat blank the reapers. Izzy? At mealtime, Ruth sat, Tia? Beside the reapers. Very good. Yes, Gracie, did you have something different?
Yes, with the reapers.
With the reapers, yeah, that would work as well. You'll find, yes, Alex. Okay. Until mealtime, yeah, that would work too. Until mealtime, Ruth sat with the reapers. And you can just see however they make sense in a sentence is how you would use those. All right. Number 11, RJ. Ruth worked blank dusk.
Until dusk?
Until dusk. And I'm not sure that any other one would work of the ones that we're looking at. Ruth worked at dusk. I guess you could say at dusk. You know, that's dusk is right when the sun starts to go down. It's not dark into dusk, maybe.
That don't make no sense, really.
Well, and you working into that time period. That wouldn't be the one I would choose, though. I think until is the one that I like the best.
What?
Through dusk, that would work as well because you work through that time period and then it's dark and you can't work outside anymore, can you?
Unless
Because
you
it's
have a
dark.
light.
Yeah. They probably didn't have a light back in Bible times. This is a Bible story, so unless they had a fire going that was really bright. All right, number 12. Joyfully, she walked blank the city. Into the city. Gabe? Through the city. Tia? Walked at the city. I don't think I would use that one there.
I had a question.
Okay.
Is it possible that you can use two of them?
Yeah, you can repeat them. You can repeat them. Alex.
With.
She walked with the city. I don't know that I use that one there. Gracie.
Into.
Walked into the city. That one I would definitely walked in the city. Yes. Those make a little bit more sense. Some of them don't make quite as much sense. Number 13. Naomi saw Ruth walking blank the full basket. Gabe? With the full basket.
Beside.
Walked beside the full basket.
Actually, there's really no more that you can use.
I wouldn't use any other ones. You're right. I think that we got all the ones that they listed for us there. All right, and then number 14, Alex, she called Ruth blank the house. Called Ruth into the house.
Yes, ma'am. All this part, common prepositions, they really help me. Yes, ma'am. And all of these, they go exactly
With that particular group of sentences. Yes, they do. All right, very good. You guys understand what we were doing there? And you realize, you know, that you can use different prepositions and some of them mean similar things. In and into are very similar. Beside, they didn't have in this list, but if you look up at the top or maybe on the back, along, across, beside. See, a lot of those will work to do the same thing. Over is one, but it wasn't in our list that we were using just now. All right, go ahead and look at the back of your paper. On page 14, you're going to do the independent practice. That means you get to practice some more on your own, doing the same thing we just did. You're going to underline the preposition in each sentence. You might need to flip back to the front to look at your green box, because there is no green box on this side. And make sure that you get all the prepositions. I think each of those only has one. And then the second section says write prepositions from the word bank. You've got for, over, in, of, to, and with. And again, choose the answer that makes the most sense, okay? Try to pick one that makes sense, not one that doesn't. Because if it doesn't make sense, then it won't be right. And then you have apply and write. And Ephesians 4:32 tells us to be kind to others. Does anybody know that verse? No. Be kind one to another.
Yes.
Tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, has forgiven you.
Yes.
Describe an act of kindness you have seen displayed at home or at school. And when you're after you do that, circle any prepositions that you use. So a sentence or two about something that you've seen someone do kind for someone, okay? And then circle the prepositions that you write. And once you finish that, I have worksheet number 7 in here somewhere. Worksheet number 7, yes, prepositions. Worksheet number 7, it looks like this for the class. I'll be handing yours out to you. For those of you that are virtual learners, you have this already at your house. So you'll need to do this one and to finish up the lesson. Yes, Gracie?
I'm liking prepositions.
I like prepositions
Can
too.
you use the book?
Yes, you can use the book. All right, and that is all that we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to go on and say goodbye to our virtual learners while you guys are working.